Let's see. Well, let's give it a sec. This might be one of those things where it seems laggy on my computer, yet is not on my phone. How laggy is this, if at all? Hi. Oh, got some people showing up. That's cool. I would like to see this on my phone so that I can actually monitor it. I feel like if I watch it on my computer, it'll bog it down. Let's see. Is it going? Is it going okay? Oh yeah, is the oh no. There's not 19. Remember. Is it really quiet? Okay, I've got it's really quiet. I haven't got that it's like lagging, so that's good, right? How is it for everyone? Also, is the little chat thing showing up? Because I worked very hard to try and get that going. It's very laggy. Okay. Let me work on that. Let me work on the lagginess. Oh, wait. Did it sort itself out? Yeah, it's not laggy on my phone, which makes me think maybe it's fine. But my computer is telling me that it's not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. As such, viewers will experience buffering. So I don't know. Okay, audio is good but quiet. I can fix that. I think I can fix that. Wait, is that the output or is that the input? I haven't changed anything since the last time I streamed, except for all of the stuff I've changed. So I don't like that the chat has like, it disappears after a bit. I have it set to not disappear, but they're disappearing anyway. And I can't do anything about it. Additionally, I like, it doesn't look like it's, I don't know, maybe it's lagging. Maybe it's just lagging on my end. It's weird. They're like going away, and then also there's not as many of them. Like it looks like, no, I don't want to insert ads. Jesus, leave me alone. keeps freezing. Let me see. This might be... Like, I don't think it's showing every single message. I guess that's fine. I don't know. I'm smooth now. Okay. Okay, I'm oh man. I don't really know what to do about the bits of lagginess between different people. Yeah, it's so weird. Okay, I mean maybe it just can't handle that much chat. Like, to be fair, my computer is old. My internet is bad. Oh man, okay. What am I gonna do? I don't know. I kind of wonder if I don't know. Sorry, let me... I'm trying to decide if this is worth troubleshooting or if I should just keep going. Like, because there's people that are like, yeah, it's fine, it's cool. And then there's other people that are like, I don't know, it's pretty busted. And I am experiencing both of those things simultaneously. Like, on my computer, it's looking kind of busted. On my phone, it seems to be fine. And on both instances, the chat box that's embedded in the streaming software is not updating nearly as quickly as the actual chat. Guess it doesn't matter. The chat box on the streaming software is really just like for people watching the VOD later, I guess. Like, all the people who are in it right now presumably can see themselves chatting, so I guess it doesn't really matter. But yeah, okay. So, alright, I'm just gonna continue, and you guys let me know if it gets really bad, and then I'll fuss around with it a bit. But part of the problem is just that, like, I'm working on old equipment, bad equipment, slow equipment, and refuse to accept that that is the problem. So, okay, audio is smooth at all times. I think I have the, like, video output, like, as, maybe not as low as it can go, but pretty low. Strange. Alright, well, I'm gonna keep going for now. Oh no! Hold on. Alright, I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna do it. The important thing is, can I draw while I'm doing this? If it's not so laggy that I can't draw... Wait, I just double negatived. If I can draw okay, then I think I'll consider it fine. I refuse to accept defeat. Yes, that is true. I do refuse to accept defeat. I'm confused. Do you only have, or is it just you, or do you have a team? It is just me. I've talked about this a little bit. Like, I accept help occasionally from people who offer to help, and who I know what they're doing, you know? Like, I don't just, like, accept help from, like, randos. I think I mentioned this a little bit on the last stream I did, too. Like, several people will be like, can I help? Can I help? We'll make Welcome to Hell? And it's like, okay, where's your reel? And they're like, well, I don't really have one. And it's like, okay, well, I need to know. I can't, like, teach you how to, like, animate or whatever. I would love to, like, just teach a class or something, but that's not what I'm doing here. So, like, you know, so like if like one of my friends is like, hey, I'm unemployed right now, do you need some help, do you want me to do some like key poses, I'll be like, yeah, sure, thank you, here's a scene that I haven't touched a lot of, and you know, I'll let them do what they will, because I know they know what they're doing, and I know I can trust them and stuff, to like handle it. But I don't like, so you know what I mean, so there is like the occasional there's other people who work on it here and there, but for the most part it is just me. You know, I have a friend who's doing backgrounds, I have another friend who's offered to do backgrounds, but I'm not at that point yet where I have been coordinating with them on that. It's tricky. I've also had people, you know, who reach out who want to help. People have offered to help, like, do kind of like production essentially. And it's also like, well, there's not enough like people or things going on to really like justify having like a production coordinator or anything. Like, it's just kind of like, that doesn't, I don't know. It's, anyway. Yeah, I don't know. People have been like, you should do a Kickstarter and raise money and then pay people to help. And like, maybe I could do that. But like, I don't want to run a whole Kickstarter. It's exhausting, and I've done it before, and maybe I should. I'm just not at that point in my life right now where I really want to do that. I just like, I think at this point I'm like most of the way through it. And I think just finishing it, like kind of like finishing it off the way that, oh Jesus Christ, it's laggy, the way that I did part 1, I think that's like gonna kind of be the best option for me right now. Maybe in the future I can do something like that, but for the sake of this, I kind of just need to like get it done and get it out there. Oh man, yeah, now my pin is lagging. That's weird. That's not great. I don't know how long this stream is going to last. This might also just be like a peak day or a peak time of day for internet usage or something, you know? I have no idea. So, let's see. Let's see. What do people say? Halfway through second semester at KCAI. Oh yeah, Blueberry Stars. Fucking Jonathan together again. The drawing isn't like it. Oh, that's good. I should be asleep right now. No. Well, if you need to sleep, go to sleep. There will be a YouTube saves the VOD, so it will be around when you awaken. What else we got? What was your favorite cartoon growing up? Like a TV show? Oh, I hear my rabbits committing crimes in the other rooms. My favorite TV show growing up was probably, like, generally speaking, The Simpsons. I had like a lot of stuff on VHS tapes or whatever that I would watch. And there was like Saturday morning cartoons and stuff, but my dark backstory, my big like sob story is that I didn't have cable growing up. When I say that to people, a lot of people don't realize what that means. But if you only have broadcast TV, you basically only have like 5 to 8 TV stations that you're working with, and none of them play cartoons all of the time. So if I wanted to watch a cartoon every day, it was Simpsons reruns on ABC. So that was kind of my thing. I also really liked it. Like, I happened to have, I don't remember how I started watching it. I literally don't remember when I first started watching The Simpsons, but it's kind of just always been on the air, like, as long as I've been born. So, like, it literally started the year I turned 1. So it's just kind of like always something that I've watched. Yeah. That's my sob story, is that I didn't have Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network and Disney Channel. That's not true. When I was a really little kid, very briefly we had cable, and I had like Nickelodeon access to that kind of stuff back when it was, well, Cartoon Network was like not really a thing yet, but Nickelodeon was a thing, and they had like 3 cartoons at the time, and it was Doug, Ren and Stimpy, and Rugrats. So like I watched a little bit of those. I was a big fan of Ren and Stimpy for a while when I was a kid. Unfortunately. But yeah. Oh my god, yeah. Pencil's laggy. Pencil, why you do that? But yeah, I would say that that's pretty accurate. I guess I would say The Simpsons. There was like random cartoons that I liked here and there, like pretty much anything that had a dog in it. Like, there was a Pound Puppies cartoon. I don't know if you remember. I mean, well, they probably have just like always existed, but in the 80s, there was these like toys that were like Pound Puppies and Pound Purries, and they were dogs and cats, and they had these sad little precious moments kind of eyes. But anyway, there was a cartoon. I had a bunch of those on like VHS that I was really into. What else? What else? I was on someone's podcast once talking about like cartoons that didn't make, that like no one really remembers, and that was the episode. They asked me if I had one, and I was like, yes, Pound Puppies. And I don't know if the episode ever came out, but I was on a podcast talking about Pound Puppies at some point several years ago. This was like during COVID times. What else? Just kind of anything with dogs in it, to be honest. How's it going, folkies? Yeah, PBS. Right. A lot of PBS when you don't have cable. They do play like a decent amount of cartoons and stuff. Or they did, you know, like, when I was like a little kid, I don't really remember there being a ton of cartoons. It was more like Sesame Street kind of stuff. And like, I mean, there was like Arthur. Arthur rules, by the way. I love Arthur. I didn't watch it when I was a kid, though. When I was in high school, I got like weirdly into Arthur. Not weirdly into it, like not in a way that was weird, just like, I don't know. I would like during the summer, I would like, Jesus Christ, why isn't this working? Okay. I would like, you know, I don't know, when I would wake up, I had like a little CRT TV in my room, and during the summer I'd like wake up and like just turn on the TV and watch fucking Arthur. And I was like, actually this rips. Like, I can't believe I didn't watch this when I was a kid. I think my sister watched it briefly, and I was like, that's dumb, that's for babies. And then in like high school I was like, wait, actually this rips, this is awesome. So I like Arthur. But yeah, they started playing like a lot more cartoons when I was like in high school. I feel like there was that one with the cat. The cat was, I think, Chinese, and there was Dragon Tales, and there was, wow, in true 90s kid fashion, I'm just listing off cartoons that existed. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, shout out to those who did not grow up with cable. What the hell, too? I should welcome to hell to my best friend. She loved it. Cool. Courage was great. A lot of Courage fans. I feel like I would have liked Courage if I had access to it. Oh, what am I doing with these goggles here? That doesn't make any sense. Let's see. What's my favorite cartoon dog? What's my favorite cartoon dog? Oh man, that's a good question. My wife found an article one time where a guy was talking about his top 5 favorite cartoon dogs, and I feel like it was very. I feel like, oh god, he put one in there, and I was like, this is not. Oh, it wasn't his top 5. It was like top 5 cartoon dogs of all time. And he put one in there that was so like, no, that's your hyperfixation from when you were a kid. That is not. Who was it? It was like a Hanna-Barbera dog. He's like a superhero or a ninja or something. I don't know. Anyway, like, I'll try and remember who he was. But it's just like, that's not, you cannot put him in the list of top 5 cartoon dogs of all time. No. Not happening. You cannot convince me. It's fine if you liked him. That does not make... I can't think of his name. Anyway, my favorite cartoon dog. I think it's gotta be... I was a big fan of Tramp from Lady and the Tramp. Big fan of Dodger. From Oliver and Company. I love Oliver and Company, by the way. It's a very underrated Disney movie. They act like it doesn't exist for some reason. It's so good. It's so good. Really any dog that was like a cool stray dog that doesn't answer to nobody. I just wanted to be like a feral dog when I was a kid. I had like a conversation one time with my wife where we were talking about, you know, she's like, well, yeah, all girls want to be like princesses when they grow up. And I was like, but we're gay. That's not. And she was like, you could be gay and still want to be a princess. Like, didn't you want to be like, you know? And I was like, dude, I wanted to be like a feral dog digging through a trash can for food and getting into fights with other dogs when I was a kid. Like, I don't know. Anyway, that has been my experience. Yeah, I would say Dodger's a good, he's a good dog. He's a good boy. Tramp is a good boy. Balto is a good boy. And I think we can count Balto as a dog. He's half. He's mixed. What's great about Balto is that, oh my god, is that he's part wolf, you know. And that's his burden, is that none of the other, anyway, you know, you've seen Balto. I love Balto. He's a good boy. Yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking more about movie dogs here. If we're talking like cartoon, like TV cartoon dogs. I don't know. Like the dogs from Pound Puppies. Like Cooler. Cooler's a good one. He's the coolest one of the group. He's the leader. He's wearing a jacket. That's why his name's Cooler. Because he's cool. There's also like a nerdy one that makes like machines for some reason. There's always got to be one. Howler, I think is his name. He's cool. Like him. What other dog cartoons were there? Let's see. Fixed it. Dynamite, Scooby-Doo. Jake. Oh, Jake's good. Jake's good. I thought we were talking like specifically cartoon dog shows or cartoon dog centric things. So if the dog is like the co-star with like, you know, like Jake is kind of Jake's a good dog. Jake's a good boy. Crypto the super dog. I think that's who I was thinking of. I want to say it's Crypto the super. Maybe. I don't know. Copper from Fox and the Hound. Okay, well, if we're talking Fox and the Hound, though, I love Copper, but like I was more of a Todd girly. I'd be more of a Todd girly because Todd is the more feral canine, right? Like the more feral. I was a dog kid, as it's probably clear by me talking about it now, and the ideal dog for me is a feral dog, a mutt who's just loose, he's living his own life. He doesn't answer to anyone. He doesn't account to anyone. And then I found out about wolves, and I was like, it's the ultimate scraggle dog. They don't account to anybody. They're fucking wolves. So then I kind of became like a wolf kid. Anyway, so the more feral the dog, the better, right? So in a Fox and the Hound situation, I'm going fox. Jonathan looks more tired of this crap than ever. Love your work, Erica. Thank you. What do you animate on? Also, is it on Mac and is it free? Okay. No and no. I'm working on a PC right now, much to my own dismay, and I won't go too far into that, but I have no alliances. I thought I was a PC girly, and then I got a Mac, and then I thought I was a Mac girly. I moved back to a PC, and it's just I hate everything now. They're all bad in different ways, but that's besides the point. The program I'm working on is called TV Paint. No, it's not free, but it is. You pay for it one time. And if you're a college student, they'll have a college discount, or they should have a college discount. They did when I got it. It's probably not as big of a discount as it was 10 years ago, but I know some people. I have some friends that use Clip Studio for animation, and they seem to really like it. I don't think Clip Studio is free, but I do think it's affordable. And again, it's a one-time price. It's not a subscription thing. Same thing with TV Paint. It's not a subscription thing. There's a program for iPad, and there's an app, a program for iPad. Jesus Christ, I'm such a boomer. There's an app called Toon Squid, which I think is also pretty decently good. I haven't used it a lot, but I do have it on my iPad, and I'm like, wow, this looks like it has everything I need. But I don't really animate on the go, so I've not used it a lot. Those would be my suggestions. If anyone in the chat has other recommendations for pro college student wanting to transition out of using Flip-a-Clip, please post. What is this? Some sort of Welcome to Hell 2? Alright. Go get groceries. Hype stream. You know, you can also... It's possible to animate in... Well, we're trying to move away from Adobe, I think. I was going to say, you can steal Photoshop and then animate in Photoshop, but it's involved. Let's see. I'm guessing you like the Sheriff and Robin Hood then. No, actually, okay. Well, you're sneaky. You're sneaky because, okay, and Robin Hood, well, because the Sheriff, but he's a bad guy though. It's gotta be a hero. It's gotta be a hero. So the most feral, Robin Hood. He's the one. Of course, it's Robin Hood. Like, so many people's awakening, you know. But yeah, no. It would be Robin Hood would be my favorite in Robin Hood. The Sheriff is a good he's a good character, but he's not my favorite. He is a wolf, that is true, but he's a bad guy wolf. He's the system. He's the oppressor. So it's gotta be a cool underdog dog, as it were. Let's see. Let's see. There's not a lot of good wolves, by the way, too. Like, I mean, there's not a lot of good wolf. Like, if we're talking about, I do love wolves. I am a wolf girly, but wolves are always the bad guys in things. They're always the bad guys in things, or they're like not the focus. Like, if wolves do show up, it's just like to have an encounter with a wolf, but usually they're the bad guys in things. And it was very hard when I was a kid. I was like, I wanted wolf movies. And all of the wolf movies are like not really wolf, like all the movies with wolves in them are not really wolf movies. My mom was like, what about Dances with Wolves? I was like, is that really a wolf movie? You know, what about, I don't know. And I gotta say, like, White Fang, okay. I don't know. White Fang is fine. It's not really a movie, it's a book, you know. White Fang's fine. It's not my favorite wolf media, but you don't have a lot. You don't have a lot of wolf media in the 90s. Not really. I will say, I watched a wolf movie from a few years ago that I quite liked. I think about it often. It's called Alpha. And it's like a prehistoric action adventure thing. Where this like kid, he's on like his, you know, coming of age hunt or something, and he gets injured and he's left behind. They can't get to him. He fell down into this like gorge or whatever, and anyway he encounters this wolf, and this wolf is also injured, and they have to work together to survive. And I thought that was like actually a really good movie. I was just like, yes, we finally got I mean, it has like people in it, which is fine. It doesn't, you know what I mean? There's a scant few actual like wolf movie, and it's fine, you know what I mean? Anyway, but yeah, A Boy and His Wolf is fine. I will take it. It's a horse girl movie, but for wolf thems, I guess. Let's see. Sock reminds me of a feral dog sometimes. I can't tell if Sock is like dog energy or cat energy. I think he's kind of like both, and that's maybe why he's so messed up. Let's see. Krita. Oh, I've heard of Krita. Krita. I don't know how it's pronounced. Blender is also free. That's true. Blender is Blender's a good one. I have not used it for animation, but, you know, people do. Obviously, people do. Open Tunes. Okay. Yeah. Clip Studio Paint. Toon Squid. Open Tunes. Procreate. Someone says I have TV Paint 11 and I'm using it right now while watching you. That's cool. I need to upgrade to TV Paint 11. Hi from the UK. Procreate just made an animation app. Okay, that's cool. The Wolves in Metalocalypse. I haven't seen a ton of Metalocalypse. What I've seen I've really liked. But I haven't seen the wolves in it. I'll check that out. Right, yeah, like being guided to a magical guitar by a wolf. Like, that's, you know what I mean? Wolves appear as like messengers, or as like, you know, in like Fantastic Mr. Fox, like to give a little like wolf moment. To give a little power. Oh, Wolfwalkers. Okay. That's a good wolf movie. I love Wolfwalkers. I quite like it. I think I was talking about it on the last stream because I was talking about like the different reads on things and how you can have like, you know, there's like a queer reading of this, or a, you know, whatever, a disabled reading of this, or whatever, different pieces of media. And I watched a video on YouTube where someone was really making the case that Wolfwalkers was like a queer reading of Wolfwalkers. And I was like, I don't think it's like, anyway. And by the end of it, I was like, I guess it is. Like, I myself am a queer. I'm surprised I wouldn't have projected that or like picked up on that, but anyway. Yeah, I like Wolfwalkers. I think it's great. Rules. Yeah, that whole sequence where they're both wolves and they're like running around to the song. That's awesome. Yeah, let's see. Van Helsing. Yeah, they got the werewolves in Van Helsing. Werewolves are also interesting. I do like werewolf media as well. Quite like werewolves. I prefer more of a what do you call it? Like a four-leg quadruped. They're not anthros when they're on four legs. I think they're called, it's like xeno something. Anyway, I'm not enough of a furry to have this conversation, but like, I like the werewolves, like the werewolves in Twilight. I think that's it's just like, they're just really big wolves. Like, it's cool if they're like half guy, that's fine, but like, the more wolfy they are, I think the better for me. Let's see. Wolf Children. A werewolf coming of age. Is that the anime? With the mom and she's got two wolf kids? Because if that is what I'm thinking of, that was really good. I quite liked that. Were you... Oh, Alpha and Omega. I've seen the first Alpha and Omega. I saw it in a theater, actually. I saw it in like, you know, those like cheap like dollar theaters or whatever. Oh my god, this is lagging so bad. I did not like Alpha and Omega. It's not like I don't hate what it was doing necessarily. It's just kind of like weird. Like, there's just like moments where the humor doesn't really land, you know. That was kind of an era where we were doing a lot of like just like weird animated movies. I liked that there was just like a bunch of dumb animated movies coming out that weren't like known IPs. They were just like, I don't know, there's a movie about a fucking dog or whatever. We were making a lot of those. What if, I don't know, carrier pigeons? What if a turkey traveled back in time to stop turkeys from being Thanksgiving food? And I feel like Alpha and Omega was a real product of that time. It's just sort of like, I don't know. It's fine though. I've seen it. I have not seen all of the sequels of it. And the wolves in that are like a little too like, they're a little, I like it when they like look, like, it's cool if they're sparkle dogs, like if they have like fun like patterns and stuff or whatever, but when they start having like hairstyles, I'm like, this is a little too like, I don't know, it's a little too, I don't know if the hairstyles it's a little, you're not feral at that point. If you have a hairstyle, you might as well just like stand up and be a real furry. You might as well get on your hind legs and be a real furry. Just go all the way. Put on some clothes too while you're at it. Oh my god, I cannot draw right now. Let's see. Were you Team Jacob, or did you become Team Neutral after his character assassination? I actually wasn't into Twilight. My friends were really into Twilight, and I was too cool for it. But when I saw the trailer for the second one, and I saw the wolves, I was like, bro. Oh, weird. Hold on, my music just started playing. I was like, what is happening? I guess I probably would have been Team Jacob if I was into Twilight. And by character assassination, I assume you mean the, like, weird thing at the end with her daughter. I don't know. I think was the kind of person who probably would have been like, Jacob and Edward should just kiss. and get it over with. That would have been me around the time of Twilight. I would have been like, why don't we just do that? My early on, before my wife and I were dating, when we were just friends, she had pointed out to me that Twilight is kind of just it's kind of just a shoujo anime. Like if it was animated, she like totally would have been into it when she was a teenager. And I was like, you know what? You're right. Like it is just kind of, it's just kind of an anime. Like, which boy am I gonna choose? And it's like, oh, I don't know why I couldn't. I read so many mangas like that. I don't know why I couldn't like. Anyway, couldn't wrap my head around that for Twilight. I'm we're kind of doing the Twilight apology tour right now, I think, as like a society, and I'm here for that. Like, I'm on board for that. They're supposedly making an animated show. If I could get hired on that show, I could die happy. Would love to work on like a cool like YA show. Talk has panda energy. Interesting. Do I have a favorite anime? Yeah. My favorite anime back when I was into anime was Yu-Gi-Oh! And not because I was like into the card game, I was like into the storyline, which is really unfortunate. There were so many animes with like interesting storylines, and they just like don't do anything with them. I feel like that's kind of the problem with anime, is they set up like a really cool idea for a storyline, and then they're like, and now we're doing a tournament. And you're like, fuck, shit, I don't want to watch these bitches fight. I just want the story to happen. So anyway, I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! For the story. And real motherfuckers watched Yu-Gi-Oh! For the story, that's all I'm going to say. Real motherfuckers know Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not about the children's card game. But, so I was really into Yu-Gi-Oh! I like to work for my story. You know, it can't just be like a show that's what I want. It has to be like an idea that I really like, but trapped in a show that I don't like. I mean, I'm being mean. That's not true. Like, I rewatched Yu-Gi-Oh! Like a couple years ago, and like it's actually paced really well for like a shonen anime. Like, it's the whole like Duelist Kingdom arc is really like, oh, they do this, and then they do this, and then like it's structured. I don't know how to explain it, but the way it unfurls is really well structured, and I think that's kind of rare for anime, for shonen anime. If we're talking about like kind of I kind of like, I got out of anime for a while, right around the time right before I went to college, and then I got to college and I made friends with all of the weebs, and they like brought me back into anime a little bit, and I really liked Madoka. That came out around that time. I love Madoka, actually. I think that's probably actually my favorite anime. Really loved Madoka. Oh, I really liked Cardcaptor Sakura back in the day too. That was another one I really liked. I read a ton of manga. Like, that was mostly what I did, was read manga. I had some friends that were like really, really into it, and we just kind of like borrowed each other's manga. Like, and we had this whole system, and we'd like pass them around to each other. This was like the height of like the Tokyo Pop days. And so like we'd go to the mall every Friday or whatever, and like just like, what mangas are out right now? What series are you interested in? And we'd like all buy whatever series we were interested in, and then just kind of like pass them around and share them at school, which was cool. I actually didn't buy a ton of anime, like a ton of mangas. I was kind of just like reading what my friends were reading. because I've always been cheap, and they my friends were mostly reading shoujo, so I've read a fuck ton of shoujo manga. I'd like one friend who would like read shonen with me, but anyway, yeah, I guess that's probably. Did I answer the question? Yu-Gi-Oh and Madoka, the two genders. Let's see what I'm missing. Oh man, hold on, I'm behind. The father of Beastars is the daughter. The father of Beastars is the daughter of the creator of Baki. I don't know exactly what that means, but the wolf from Beastars is also a good wolf. He's a good one. Princess Mononoke wolves. Those are good wolves. I gotta say, I'm not like crazy about Princess Mononoke. I don't dislike it. I don't have any problems with it. I just like, I don't know. It's never really like been one of the one. I feel like on paper, it's the one that I should like the most of the Ghibli movies, but I don't know why. I don't know why. Maybe the pacing is just like a little strange for me or something. I'm not sure, but the wolves are good. Wolves are good. Let's see. Freebirds. Okay, you caught what I was talking about with the turkey movie. Wolf Reporter and Hoodwinked. I actually didn't see Hoodwinked. The Wolf and Sheep movie. Wait. Oh my god. The Japanese one? Oh, fuck, what's it called? That movie rules. That movie is so good. Okay, if you want a good double feature, you do. What's it called? It's got a long Japanese name. But it's about a wolf and a sheep who are friends, and the wolf wants to eat the sheep, but he can't because they're friends. And also it's just like very gay. Like, I don't know, there's no way around it. It's just very gay. Wolf sheep movie, Japanese. So oh my god, I was Googling something really embarrassing. Wolf and sheep movie anime. Someone in the chat will know it. Oh, One Stormy Night, Arashi no Yoru ni. Wait, is this the one? No. This is okay. Yes. Okay, Arashi no Yoru ni is the Stormy Night. Very good Wolf and then, okay, here's double feature. You guys have to do this. I don't know which order you go in. First you go Stormy Night, Arashi no Yoru ni. It's a wolf and a sheep become friends, and it's very gay. And then do Ringing Bell, which is from the late 70s, and it's about a young lamb whose mother is killed by a wolf, and who like goes to the wolf and is like, train me how to become a wolf. and he becomes this fearsome, like, legendary sheep, like predator, like, and he does it so that he can become strong and like protect the other sheep, but also like at the cost of his sheeplyhood. Like, now all of the other sheeps are afraid of him. Not to spoil it, but like, I mean, anyway, and so now he has no home, you know what I mean? Like, he's not quite a wolf, not yet a sheep, or vice versa. That movie rules. It's so good. I think that's also an anime. But anyway, yeah, good double feature. Freebirds, yeah, that's the movie. Okay, you knew the Freebirds movie. Character assassination of Jacob. I mean, how am I ever know to put people for Jacob over Edward and stretched it random? Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't think it was deliberate. I didn't know she like deliberately started writing him unlikable. That's a bummer. That sucks. Don't like Yu-Gi-Oh! Preferred Pokemon. Pokemon is great. Oh, Pokemon's great. I don't count Pokemon. I'm sorry. When people are like, oh, I don't count Pokemon as like a favorite anime because everyone liked Pokemon. I kind of feel like it's like Pokemon was like everyone's sort of like first anime. So I don't really count that one. But yeah, obviously Pokemon rules. Do I have a Patreon? I do have a Patreon. I guess I can link it, but if you type in Erica Wester Patreon, I'm sure it will come up. It might also be linked on my YouTube, like about section. I'll link it in the chat. Yeah, if you guys are interested, on my Patreon, I post animation that I've been working on from Welcome to Hell. I haven't posted there in a little while. Kind of behind, but I'll put it in the chat. Let's see. Put that in the chat. So let me monitor the stream and make sure it's like... Okay. Okay. Effort noises. Yeah. I have a Patreon. I have a Ko-fi as well. I don't really, but it's there if you want to do that. That's the thing. But if you want to get something for your money, there's Patreon. I only have 2 tiers, $1 and $5. And like, I'm not, I feel weird, like, taking money from people, especially because like a lot of my fans, I think, are younger or in college, and like there's not a lot of like disposable income. So anyway, I have 2 very small tiers, and also like if you ever need to like peace out, please do. You can you can get the $5 tier, get all the animation, download it on your hard drive or whatever, and then like peace out. That's fine. If you really want to save some money. When I have like a full-time job at a studio, I also tend to freeze my Patreon so that it doesn't like charge people money. Because I feel, anyway, I try and be like fair about it, I guess, if that makes sense. Let's see. Does Inuyasha count? I mean, probably. I didn't watch a ton of Inuyasha either. I like a little bit. I don't remember what Sashomaru's beast form looks like, but I feel like that counts. I feel like that's fine. Don't make me. Pokemon does have anime separate from the main series. Yes, that's true. Yeah, Pokemon has a lot of different separate animes and mangas and stuff from the main series, especially now. I mean, back in the 90s when it was new, there was like a couple other Pokemon comics and manga, but there was just the one anime, and then the games, and then the card game, and whatever. It was a multi-pronged thing. I'm gonna save later. We don't need to save right now. Okay, this keeps like accidentally clicking on stuff. That one Pokemon anime that's the stop motion one that came out a couple years ago, where they're like working at like on an island, trapped in an island. That one's really good. I like that one quite a bit. I love the idea. Pokemon is kind of okay. Pokemon's like a perfect world. Like they created a world that like has a cool concept, and you want to exist in it. And even though the games are kind of like, you got to be a Pokemon trainer and catch whatever, and they introduce more like concepts like breeding and stuff like that. I always really loved the idea that like there's a lot of different ways to exist in the Pokemon world, and I like that we're like getting media now, getting other like Pokemon animes and stuff that sort of explore that. Because I've always really enjoyed the concept and the world and everything, but felt like if Pokemon was real, I would not probably be a Pokemon trainer. Like, I probably would not go on that quest and get all the gym badges and everything, but I would, like, love to have fucking Pokemon. Like, you know, yeah, Pokemon's great. Love it. Love the world. Love it. I love a kind of sandbox sort of world where you can, like, create like a character that you would be and like what you would do in that world. And Pokemon's just really like I'm glad they've finally realized that they have this really cool thing that they can actually do a lot with, because I've always really liked that about Pokemon. Okay, this is a bad underdrawing, so I'm trying to figure out how to fix it. Well, it's not bad. It's just like poorly planned. Girl. Why did I do that to my eraser? Okay. Also, I said this on the last stream too. I swear I'm always talking about, like, animators love to talk about how long animation takes and how it's so labor intensive and it's such a labor of love, and it is. But, like, just so you know, the amount of slow that is happening like, I actually usually animate way faster than this. So, like, the irony of, like, streaming to kind of be like, look, I'm animating, and, like, to kind of keep myself on track is actually severely slowing me down. But I do think it's ultimately good. It's content and it's interacting with people and so on. But man, I promise animation is not normally this slow. Some of it's the lag, some of it's the multitasking. Let's see. Speaking of Patreon, anytime we're getting new sketchbook tours anytime soon. I haven't been drawing in my sketchbook a lot lately. And yes, the cam is kind of laggy. It looks laggy on my end as well. Sorry, I don't really know what to do about that. The camera is my shitty computer webcam. And oh wait, did it totally stop? No. Okay, no, sorry, my thing just paused. Way behind in the stream that I'm monitoring. I believe my Ko-fi is Real Faker. Let me look at that real quick. Look that up. Ko-fi Real Faker. Real Faker was my username back in ROTC. Real Faker was my username back before I was using my real name on social media. Yes, it's Real Faker. Let's see. What are you talking about? Pokemon. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up on the stream. Yeah, sorry it's laggy. I have to keep apologizing throughout. It's just like my equipment is old. It might just be kind of laggy, you know. I have like the lowest tier internet you can pay for, and I am plugged in. I am on the Ethernet, but like, you know, I don't have anything else running off the internet right now, but like I'm a cheap ass and I'm not like paying for like crazy over the top high speed internet that I don't really need. So I apologize if it's a little laggy. Maybe I need it. If I get more into streaming, I guess I should like look into upgrading. It's like 4 episodes longer than Gen 1 game. Oh yeah, I've seen that one too. That other Pokemon one that's just, it like follows the beats of the game. I've seen a little bit of that. I didn't know it was only 4 episodes. I kind of thought maybe I just like only watched 4 episodes, but I have seen that one as well. Oh yeah, a new sketchbook on Patreon. I haven't really been drawing in my sketchbook lately. I'm happy to post what I have.
But the last few times I, like, for a while, I was kind of going to a coffee shop and, like, sketching with a friend of mine, and I just haven't been doing that as regularly anymore. I need to get back into it. Oh my god, this is so laggy. But, yeah, so I need to get back into that, I think. And if I do that, I'll have more sketchbook stuff to post. The only thing is, a lot of time when I do that, I'm, like, helping my friend work out, like, ideas. So a lot of times I'm drawing, like, their characters and stuff, which is fun. It definitely, like, puts some stuff in my sketchbook that I otherwise wouldn't be drawing, and that's cool. But yeah, I should do that. I will post more sketchbook stuff soon. I didn't know people, like, really liked seeing my sketchbook that much. I kind of thought, like, the sketchbook was just like, I don't know, here. Sorry, it's not Welcome to Hell. But if people really like it, I will post more. People always liked, I used to do sketch dumps back on DeviantArt as well, and people tend to really like those. It's kind of why I started doing Welcome to Hell, because I was, like, posting random sketches of the characters and stuff, and people seemed interested. So, yeah, I don't know, I guess I ought to be doing that more. Oh, his leg is not that big. Does it matter? Does it matter? Will anyone know? No. But this is what happens when you have a bad underdrawing. This is what happens when you don't do tie downs. Is you're stuck looking at your roughs going, what the I guess I should just do tie downs. But anyway. The brush is so laggy. It's weird. It has moments where it's fine, and then it has moments where it's, like, just totally shitting the bed. Okay. Fake weeb. Yeah, that's me. Patreon needs to make it easier to freeze that noise long term. It's such a pain. Will Bits. Oh, hey! I know you. I know you, Will. How's it going? How you doing? Will is someone I've worked with on other shows. I think that's Will, who I think I'm just like, the icons are, like, really tiny. Anyway. When I first watched Welcome to Hell, I turned 20 this year. Oh, that's my favorite genre of comment. 10 years ago, when I first posted Welcome to Hell, people would be like, is Sock boy or girl? I don't understand. If he wearing skirt, then who was phone? Like, and now the comments are like, I was 2 years old when I first watched Welcome to Hell, and it turned me gay and non-binary. Thank you. And now I'm 50. And I was just like, and I'm like, wow, oh my god, that's so crazy. Congratulations. Which, anyway, I love that. But it's also like, oh my god, that's so crazy. Like, when you post, I've talked about this before on streams and stuff, but, like, when I was posting Welcome to Hell, and I'm like in my 20s at the time, I was like, I don't know, I just kind of assumed that it was like other teens and 20-somethings who were watching it. Didn't really account for the fact that, like, there's a bunch of 8-year-olds who are, like, logged into YouTube on their older brother's account or have lied about their age. You know what I mean? Because YouTube gives me analytics, and it's like, most of your audience is, 13 to 25-year-olds or whatever. And I'm like, cool. And it's like, oh, actually, that was not the case. Like, anyway, so, I'm glad I didn't ruin anyone. I'm glad I didn't, like, warp anyone's fragile young mind, to my knowledge. And if I did, I'm sorry. Anyway. Ever wish you could find those magic changing pools in Ranma 1/2? Ranma 1/2 was fun. I read a decent amount of that when I was in high school. Good anime movie recs or favorites of yours. I'm not enough of a weeb. I'd have to think about it. I'd have to think about it. I'm sure there's some. Oh wait, yeah. What was that? Okay. There was that one anime movie with the girl and the guy, and they switch bodies, and they're like lovers trapped beyond time or whatever. Your Name? Was it just called Your Name? That was really good. But I saw a movie recently with some genuine weebs, who were like, who had pointed out, they said something like, actually it was Sock's original voice actor, and she was saying like that, I think like Your Name did a real disservice because now every anime movie is trying to do that. Anyway, I'm not gonna like talk shit about this movie that I saw, but it was like, it was a lot. It was too much. Like, it was like, we were watching it, and it was fine. It was enjoyable. It was beautiful to look at, but it was like, oh man, it's so anime. It was too anime, and like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old, but it was like, what was it? It was like, it's like a adaptation of Princess Kaguya, but it's like modern, and it was fun. Like, there was elements of it that was really fun, and it was like kind of gay, which was also really cool. But it just like, I don't know. The pacing was weird, and nothing felt earned, and at some point I was like looking at my wife, and I were like, chatting with each other about it, and she was like, oh, okay, so we're in the second act right now, and it's like this, and then the third act is going to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, we're just kind of like talking about the structure of it. She's a writer, so she like always thinks of things in terms of like structure. And then we like both paused for a second, and we were like, this is a Japanese movie. It has 4 acts. So it's like, what the fuck is the fourth part gonna be? And it's like always, I don't know. I just feel like a lot of anime movies like go off in this like insane direction that doesn't always make sense to me. Sometimes they're great, but sometimes it's just, I don't know, whatever. I'm not like trying to, it's not just the structure, because I'm not like 3-act structure is the only way to write a story. I mean, like, there's all kinds of different structures and ways to write stories, and a story doesn't need to have structure at all, but it's just like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where it just didn't really feel like earned. I don't know, just like, or like they'll introduce something and you think they're kind of gonna like follow that thread, but then they don't. Like, tell you like, oh, this character's really overworked and she's like constantly working and she's constantly busy, and it's like, is she? All she's doing is hanging out with her cool like space princess in the virtual world. Is she overworked? Is she working really hard? I don't know. I'm not seeing it. Like, you can tell me that, but like, it kind of looks like she's just fucking off in the cool virtual world. I don't know. I just like. Anyway, Your Name was good, is what I'm getting at. But I think a lot of movies now are like kind of trying to do Your Name, and I just don't really know that it's working. But that's kind of always what happens, is something happens and it's really, really good, and then everyone wants to kind of copy that thing, and no one really understands what made that thing work in the first place. Anyway. I don't watch a ton of anime anymore, so I don't really know if I actually have that many good suggestions. Real Faker, like the Sonic meme? Yes. I've had the username Real Faker since my Neopets days, and it was indeed a Sonic reference. Because I wanted to be like subtle, which is something no Sonic fan has ever said or thought. But I was like, oh god, I don't know how to draw his shoes. This is gonna look insane. Yeah, I wanted to be subtle about it, and I was like, at the time on Neopets, I had made a guild called SA2 Forever, so I could talk to other Sonic Adventure 2 fans, and anyway, my username at the time was Real Faker, and I kind of used it up until, I don't know, honestly, kind of up until, like, Welcome to Hell, because it's like, oh, at this point, I made a thing. My real name is attached to it. Kind of needs to be in order to like get jobs in the industry, you know? Whatever. This is an in-between frame. No one's gonna know. No one's gonna even look at that drawing. It's totally fine. Don't tell anyone about the anatomy crime I just committed. Just one more drawing. I am actually animating this by hand, and I was gonna kind of do some copy and paste stuff, but I think it'll look better if I like actually draw the frames. What was I talking about? Sonic. Yes, I am also a Sonic hoe. I love sketchbook stuff. Looking at other people's sketchbooks to be educational, I find. Helps me with figuring my stuff out. Tie down? Please explain. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just like dropped a term and didn't explain it. A tie down drawing is like, you know, like if you're drawing, like, first you do like a rough sketch, and then you kind of clean it up a little bit, like, and pick like which lines you're actually gonna, like, instead of this insanity right here, you'd be like, oh, okay, like the line, it should be this, or something. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like a cleaner sketch, basically. So that way, when you go to clean it up, you can actually kind of like follow what you did. Sometimes when I'm animating, I skip that step because I'm like, whatever, it's my own drawings and my own characters. I can just wing it. And that's not always true. Sometimes I think it's clean enough, and then I'm like on a stream and I'm trying to clean it and it's lagging, and I'm like, oh no, why didn't I tighten the drawing a little more? It's been 84 years. Let's see. Thoughts on Smiling Friends, also at ending. Smiling Friends is great. Let me just say that straight out. But when it first came out, everyone was like, oh my god, it's Smiling Friends. It's like doing something really cool and unique and awesome. And oh my god, I can't believe what a great show this is. And I was like, fuck, I gotta watch Smiling Friends. And then I watched Smiling Friends, and I was like, this is fine, but this does just kind of feel like every other Adult Swim show. I mean, it's clearly made by like people who are real animators, and like those guys like go back. They are real animators. Like they came up in the trenches, you know, on like Newgrounds and shit. You know what I mean? Like those guys are doing something really cool, and it looks great, and it's fun, and it's weird, and it's wacky, and it's very creative, and I like that about it. But like people were really like, no, it's different. It's like, it's something special for like an Adult Swim show. And I've watched it, and I'm like, it just feels like an Adult Swim show to me. Like, and I don't mean that as like an insult. Like I like plenty of Adult Swim shows. Like I don't, that's not like, but I don't understand what extra sparkly shiny thing people are like seeing it, other than that, like, it's coming from like a real animation background, and that is cool. It's very like creator driven and stuff, and that is dope. But like tone wise and comedy wise and everything, it feels very like what I would expect from Adult Swim. So I'm not really sure. And I've tried to explain that. I tried to explain that to a coworker at my last job, and they were like, you can just say you don't like it, it's fine. And I was like, no, I'm not saying I don't like it. I just like, I'm like missing something. And to be fair, Jesus, man, to be fair, like I've been in weird like fandoms and stuff that don't make sense to other people. So I mean, I'm fully like willing to admit that maybe there's just like something I'm like not picking up on. As once an active member of the South Park fandom, yes, that one, you know, I get it. Sometimes there's like something that you just get, and other people don't get it. So anyway, Smiling Friends is fine. I was reached out to actually when they were looking for, I think cleanup artists or storyboard artists. I got an email from someone like a recruitment email. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. Like, here's my portfolio and blah, blah, blah. And then they emailed me back and they were like, I'm so sorry. They literally just told me like 10 minutes ago, like, we're actually not hiring anymore. Like, we were looking to fill a couple positions and like, actually we filled them. I'm so sorry. So maybe there's an alternate timeline where that email got sent out 10 minutes earlier and I was working on Smiling Friends season 3. I think that's what they're on right now. And I only also just recently heard it got, I don't know if it was canceled or if they just only intended to make 3 seasons, but wow, this thing is lagging really bad. But I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it's always a bummer when like a show you like goes away, but also I feel like it's better to go out on a high note, you know. Oh my god, it has only gotten worse as I've streamed. Like, the lagging has only gotten more unbearable. Okay. Let's see. What are your thoughts on Smiling Friends? Maybe you guys can explain to me what, if you know what I'm talking about, like maybe you can explain what I'm missing. Welcome to Hell did turn me pan and envy. Good. Then my work here is done. Kimi no Nawa. That's what it was called. Sorry. You hurt me into the annoying or divergent I am to D who can't stop info dumping about my special interests. Welcome to Hell. Affectionate. That's funny. The other one around that time, Silent Voice? I don't know. Are we talking about an indie animation? Around the time of Welcome to Hell? Or oh, no, sorry. I'm behind on the chat. We're talking about oh, browser open time. Yeah, you know what? I think that's what it is. I opened my Patreon a second ago, and that always bogs down my browser. I'm gonna get rid of that. Yeah. You know what? I'm gonna get rid of these YouTube's ones too. That is done now. Beep. Okay, no more tabs. Only streaming. Let's see. How far behind I am on the stream, but YouTube isn't letting me catch up. Weird. Don't say Neopets, it makes me feel old. Ever seen a 5-act movie? I don't know if I've seen a 5-act movie, but I do know that Shakespeare plays tend to be 5 acts. I don't know if Shakespeare movie adaptations tend to be 5 acts or if they like tend to squish it down into a more manageable 3. My wife would be the person to ask about this. I don't know if I've ever seen a 5-act movie. Have you? Yeah, also someone was saying most art classes in Western media heavily pushes the hero's journey / 3-act form, which is a tragedy since Eastern media and anime is so cool in how they tell stories. I agree. I don't think there's like inherently anything superior about a 3-act structure other than that it like just feels familiar to Western audiences. Like, I think that's kind of why we like it. I don't have a problem with any other kind of like storytelling. I find it fascinating. But it's just it's like the other elements, I guess, for me, like where you're, like I was saying, like they're doing a lot of telling me stuff but not showing it, or maybe they show a little bit of it but not like really exploring like the logical consequence of the thing they introduced, and obviously not all stories structures do that. I just feel like that movie could have used another pass. That's all. They had a lot of stuff that I liked. You know what? Great. Let's do Princess Kaguya as a manic pixie dream girl who comes to modern times and like is friends with a girl, and have it be about weird like repressed lesbian stuff instead of like my dad ruined my life. Like, that's fine. That's a cool take on Princess Kaguya. I'm totally in support of that. But I just like, I don't know. I don't think you can have a scene where they're both watching the fireworks at the fucking festival and they're like, wow, being in the real world really beats, like, there's nothing quite like being in the real world and existing in the real world. And the whole movie is set in, like, the fucking internet world, the fucking virtual world. It's like, I don't know. I don't think you can just say that and then, like, not follow through with that. Like, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I'm being too hard on it. I don't know. And I also think, like, okay, sometimes when I'm watching, because I haven't watched a fuckload of anime for, like, the last decade or so, I've just watched, like, random ones here and there. Whenever I jump back in and I watch anime, I'm like, oh, no. I've got, like, there's, like, 10 years worth of anime that we're referencing and deconstructing and reconstructing and then deconstructing again, and I don't understand any of it. You know what I mean? Like, I used to think that anime was kind of hard to follow. But now my kind of rule is, like, if I'm watching an anime and I don't think I could show it to, like, my parents or, like, the boomers in the dad band that I play in with, like, if I don't think I could show it to one of them without having to explain, like, the history of tropes that exist within that, like, subgenre of anime, then I'm like, I can't, it's... And I have no problem with, like, deconstructions and, like, playing, like, with a subgenre or whatever. I think that's really fun, but a lot of times I'm just like, it's building on too many things. You need too many points of reference to understand what it's doing. And, like, I don't know. I'm just kind of, like, not super into media like that. Like, if you're gonna do a little reference or a little deconstruction... I don't know. It's like I used to really enjoy stuff like that, but now it's just too much deconstruction on top of deconstruction on top of deconstruction, and I'm like, I can't handle it. Like, when I listen to anime people talk about the animes they're watching, like, oh yeah, it's like a blah 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 kind of anime, but this trope is doing this thing instead of blah blah blah, and I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about anymore. Like. And it's all isekai tropes too. Like, it's all, like, deconstruction, reconstruction, isekai stuff. So it's like, it's one specific genre that I actually, like, don't know a fuck ton about to begin with, and that I've never been, like, particularly crazy about to begin with. I don't know why with the isekais. I think kind of my problem with, like, especially isekais that, like, you go into a digital world or something, I'm like, okay, we were all excited about going into the digital world when... This is how you know I'm white, because I can't clap on the beats of the words of what I'm saying. Like, we were all excited about going into the digital world in the early 2000s when it was going to be the future, and we were all going to wear shiny metallic jackets, and, like, 9/11 hadn't happened yet. We were all so excited. We were all so excited for it. And, like... But now we live in the world where we're already kind of in the virtual world all the time, and it sucks. And it's, like, I mean, there are elements that are good. Like, it's cool that we can stream and, like, hang out and whatever, and, like, there's people that want to see my art. And that seeing someone's art is, like, inspiring to other people, and that's awesome. But it's also so, like, I don't know. I just, like, I think I'm just personally done with, like, a going into the digital world and living your life in the digital world kind of narrative. Like, there's also, like, a lot of, like, going back into, like, a medieval world thing that's popular right now, too. And I think, I don't know, maybe I'm more partial to that kind of thing. But they're all just very, like, built on deconstructions of tropes that I'm like, I can't follow anymore. It's not easy to jump back in. It's not easy being a fake weeb, you guys. Anyway, I'm sorry. That was tangent. See if I can catch up in the chat now. Like the humor, I guess. The humor of what do you call it? Smiling Friends. It's normies seeing new count stuff for the first time. Maybe that's it. Like, I don't know. I have no idea. That said, like, another Adult Swim show that I haven't seen a lot of people talking about it, but it is really weird for Adult Swim, and it's really, really good, is, oh my god, what's it called? It's got a mushroom. There's, like, a mushroom that, like, brings people back to life. And it's, like, about big pharma. It's like, anyway, it's what's his name? The King of the Hill guy. Oh my god, I can't think of his name. Anyway, it's him. It's got like a lot of like you know, big people behind it. So, you know, it's got some old hat guys working on it. But that show's really good. I can't think of it. Side effects. Common Side Effects. That's what it's called. That one's really weird for Adult Swim. I feel like it doesn't fit into their... Because it's very narrative heavy, and it's, like, kind of serious, and it's not very absurd. It feels like watching a weird, like, mindfuck, trippy anime. The style is very strange. But anyway, I like that show quite a bit. And I would say it's an adult show in that, like, in the proper way that it's not just, like, adult in parentheses childish. You know, not that there's anything wrong with adult childish, but I'm just saying, like, it does feel like a proper, like, oh my god, this page is slowing down Firefox, thank you. I just think everything wasn't so digital. The AI bubble would fucking pop already. Agreed. Oh, I don't remember that Adventure Time episode, but that sounds good. That sounds familiar. I don't know. I dropped out of Adventure Time at some point, but I had watched quite a bit of it. Mike Judge, that's the guy. Thank you, chat. I'm really bad with proper nouns, by the way. Like, anytime I have to say a person's name, or the name of a show, or the name of a band, or the name of an album, I'm like, oh god, I'm gonna fuck it up. I have another friend who's like that too, and so we'll kind of be like, just like, wait, is this the thing? And then just kind of like fuck with each other a little bit, like... Like, he's like, are you fucking with me right now? Like, no, I'm pretty sure that is what it's called. It's just like, okay, because we're trying to get, like, but then there's this other guy that has this name, and he's the one, I don't know, I'm just really bad with proper nouns. Diagnose me. I don't know what that is, but, boop. Wow, this is taking forever. I didn't want it to take forever. No! I don't feel like it was this bad last stream, although I'm sure if I open the stream it'll just be me being like, God damn it! I don't know. I guess I might need to upgrade my business. Have I seen The Shivering Truth? No, I've never even heard of it. What is it about? If you could let any studio handle Welcome to Hell, which one would it be? Oh my god, I don't know. I mean, I think typically what happens is you send out a test. You have studios kind of do a test, and then, like, I know this is a hypothetical, like, what is your dream studio to handle Welcome to Hell? But I think, like, I'm just saying, like, traditionally it's done, like, and then they bid on, like, how much they could do it for, you know what I mean? Like, oh, well, we'll do it for this price. And, you know, and usually a production will go with the cheapest studio. Or, like, the cheapest studio they can do. Like, they're kind of undercutting each other to get the job, you know? So a lot of times a thing is animated by the most budget-friendly option. But if we're not talking about that, if we're just talking about like a hypothetical, what studio would I want to animate Welcome to Hell? This is going to be kind of a weird one. I don't know what studio exactly, but I really like the idea of it. Let me think. Okay, actually, wait, maybe let me change my answer. What I was gonna say is I really like the idea of it looking like 90s TV animation, like having it look like some Klasky Shupo shit. They are technically still around. I don't know what they're doing. And I don't know anyway. But maybe it's just something like have it animated kind of in that style. Not like literally in that style. It would be the style that, but the way that 90s TV animation looked, you know? And I think like Western 90s TV animation. But like, I don't know, I like a lot of anime elements too, obviously. Like, I think it's obvious from looking at my designs that I like anime, but maybe that's not, or that I, was into anime when I was a teenager. That Scott Pilgrim show that came out recently, that looked incredible. That was an anime studio, obviously. Wait, who was it? I'm gonna look it up. That would be really cool. What I'm saying, I like the effect that they, like all of the compositing that they did on that show. Like, I thought the animation was great, but also the compositing was really cool. Like, making it look older, making it look like it was on cells. I kind of want to do something like that. I like the idea of it looking kind of intentionally a little like... Okay. What I love about 90s TV animation is that you can see the hand in it, and you can kind of see, like, the mistakes. And you can tell when, like, a piece of the background is about to move because it's on a separate layer and it's painted. And I love that. And I love seeing the shadows underneath the cells and seeing the, like, chromatic aberration because of the... Anyway. Like, knowing that it was all done with... Anyway, and they mimicked a lot of those effects on the Scott Pilgrim show. And I don't think it, like... I mean, I do think it looked much cleaner and tighter, obviously, than, like, a 90s TV animation would. But I like the idea of kind of mimicking that, like... because they're working on, like, in the 90s, like, a TV budget would have been pretty low. And they're doing it all on cells and hand painted, and they have to be very sneaky about how to keep the costs down. And whenever I'm watching like an old show or like 80s anime too, I watched the Transformers movie at some point, the one, like the original. Well, was it the movie, or I don't know. I was watching some Transformers shit from the 80s. I think it was the movie. And I couldn't look away from it. I was like, oh my God, this is beautiful. And, like, I know that, like, we kind of joke now about how cheap that stuff looks, but it's like, I'm really blown away by it, because it's like, all of that was drawn by hand, and, like, something explodes, and then there's all these little pieces of, like, shrapnel that need to be tracked, and, like, and they were doing all that on cells. And anyway, it's just nuts to me, but I really like seeing the hand in things, if that makes sense. Like, when I'm doing like a camera move in like After Effects or something for this, like, this is also something that really bugs me when something's like hand drawn but it has a very digital camera move that's like flawless and smooth. It's like, look, my animation is maybe on 2s, but like sometimes it's on 3s and 4s and 5s and 6s. So I when I'm doing like a camera move or something in After Effects, I'll go in and stagger it, or I'll put like that what is that time interpolation thing on it, so that it makes it like on 2s or on 3s, or it changes the frame rate. Like, because I don't know, that always like looks so weird to me. Or like, there's another thing, I went in intentionally on the first scene of Welcome to Hell Part 2, Part 1, where Sock's like floating, and I kind of like nudged him a little bit so that it wasn't exactly like an in between, a perfect like float up and down when he's reading Jonathan's journal. He's kind of floating up and down, and I like staggered it, and I made a couple of the frames like a little bit twitchy. I don't know if you can tell, and maybe it looks like a mistake, I'm not sure, but I kind of wanted to do that, like, because if it was on cells, like, you'd have to, like, it would be someone slowly moving the cell, you know, up and down, and, like, off of the register a little bit. So, I don't know, I like the idea of seeing that a person made it, and that it's not a flawless, like, interpolated thing done by a computer. So I would want, like, a studio that, like, could mimic that kind of, I was gonna say polish, but unpolish, if that makes sense. Like, I don't know. I don't know. Right, I said I was gonna look up the studio that did the Scott Pilgrim anime, and I didn't. I'm sure it's a really popular, well-known one, and I'm gonna be like, oh, obviously, when I know what it was. Let's see. Oh my god. Shivering Truth is basically Adult Swim's version of Twilight Zone by the VA for Xavier and Trey Parker. What? I guess I'll have to look that up. Yes, Mike Judge also made Beavis and Butthead. I'm sorry. I thought of that when I said it. I was like, he's done other things. He's done way other things, but King of the Hill was the first thing I thought of. That's the one I would have grown up watching. Will sock hats restock one day? Yeah. My sister who makes the sock hats is kind of like, she has her shop paused right now, but, I do think if you message her, I think she'll take an order. But she has the shop kind of on hiatus right now, because she needed a break from it. But I do think she still makes the hats if she receives a request for them. So it might be worth reaching out, because they're not stocked. She makes them, they're made to order. So, it's worth reaching out if you want to give it a shot. What genre of music would the characters in Welcome to Hell listen to? That depends on when Welcome to Hell is set, and I haven't decided that yet. I don't know. I mean, Jonathan listens to Valhalla Soundbucks, which is, I would say rock, alternative rock, because it's my friend's band from high school. Love a 90s style. Thoughts on Little Witch Academia and Owl House. Sorry, I'm trying to catch up. Is there something? Oh, your character's got me on ouch subs. Thank you. I appreciate that. You've impacted a lot of young artists at the time in a good way. I appreciate that. They apparently draw black construction paper. Oh, interesting. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like reading the chat to catch up. We're talking about animating like the Batman animated series. I guess they did their backgrounds on black construction paper. That's interesting. I have thought about doing a segment of the Hell segments in excuse me, in Welcome to Hell 2, like where Jonathan's in hell. I have thought about doing those in like a weird way, like doing some kind of experimental animation for the backgrounds or whatever, or like hiring someone to do that. I might still do that for part 2 because there's going to be more scenes that take place in Jonathan's personal hell. So we'll see that. Thank you. Someone said the clear passion is very clear in how I talk about it. I appreciate it. It is my special interest. Can't stay for long, but I wanted to pop in for a sec. Good luck animating. Thank you. Can I just polish Welcome to Hell less? Yeah. This scene that I'm working on right now, I want to be cleaned and colored because a good chunk of it already is, and I just kind of want the whole scene to be that, you know. Most of it is not going to be as like clean as this. I just kind of want to do one scene that is, and it's kind of a long scene, and I'm almost done cleaning it. Like, I mean, of course I still have to color it, but the cleaning is the part that takes a long time. Let's see. It take place around the time the pilot came out. I've thought about that. I haven't decided if Welcome to Hell... At first I kind of thought it should take place in when I was in high school, which was the early 2000s. But I don't know. Like, I kind of don't want... I don't know. I'm not sure. I want them to have, like, the internet, but probably not cell phones. Like, everyone doesn't have a cell phone on them all the time. I also kind of had this, like, recurring joke where it's like, you know, if you make something, like, anachronistic or, like, sort of out of time, like, out of place in time, like, you know, sometimes you'll see movies like that where you're like, okay, the outfits look like this, but the cars look like this. What? You know, like, what was one I watched recently? I rewatched, The Mouse Hunt recently, which highly recommend if you've never seen it or if you are just thinking about rewatching it. What a masterpiece. What an absolute masterpiece. But that's a movie that kind of takes place like out of time. You're like, it's kind of modern, but also they drive like old-timey cars. And anyway, it's sort of all over the place. But I like the idea of the time frame for Welcome to Hell being kind of ambiguous. Just like, maybe it's the 90s, maybe it's the 2000s. Maybe it's the 2010s, and they just don't have cell phones or whatever. But one of the things that I've done intentionally to kind of keep it ambiguous is, like, you never see what Jonathan's music player looks like. He's wearing headphones a lot, but I kind of want you to never really see what the music player is, because that would potentially date it. Unless he's just, like, a hipster that's, like, using an old... Like, he's just like, no, the quality of CDs is just better. Or something like, no, my Walkman is just this cassette tape. You gotta have the shitty grain of the fucking tape. Like, I don't know. So I haven't really decided that yet. I had an idea for a story that would involve revealing what kind of music player Jonathan has, but I don't know if I'll do it. Ever. What does that next frame look like? It looks like that. Okay. Why don't I turn my onion skin on? Let's see. Shivering Truth is free on YouTube. Okay. I'll have to check it out. I'm gonna write it down. I will check it out. Shivering Truth. Science Saru. That's, yeah. That sounds right. How did you get into being an animator? Asking because I'd love to be one when I grow up. I've been here the whole time, but I'm making a bead keychain, so I'm just listening. Aw, sick! What kind of beads? What kind of keychain? I've been a bead hoe for parts of my life. I've made my share of of bead things. For a while, I couldn't like go into a crowd. I had to like, it was like, I can't look when I'm walking past the bead aisles, or I will get sucked in. Anyway, how I get into being an animator. I actually wanted to be an animator when I was a little kid. Or, you know, even, I don't know, just, it was something that I kind of wanted, that I was interested in. Wait a second. This requires knowing how to turn him in space, and I don't. I did animate it. It just looks bad. Okay. And then I kind of like, I don't know, I sort of forgot about that for a while. And then, I think I've told this story before, and it's kind of a tricky one to tell, but when I was in like, I don't know, maybe high school or so, I mean, I've like basically always drawn. I've always drawn my whole life. And I guess for a while I kind of thought maybe I want to do graphic design or illustration or comics or something. And at some point I don't know exactly how this happened, but I discovered that John Kay, the creator of Ren and Stimpy, had a blog where he would post about animation. And this was in the early 2000s. And we know now that he's kind of a piece of shit. So that is unfortunate. But at the time, no one was like talking. There wasn't industry professionals on the internet with blogs talking about animation. Not that I knew of, not really. And he was doing it like a lot, and he was like, you know, he's been in it for a long time and he knows a lot. And I would read it like every night. And he's also like, I didn't always agree with him. He has some like really, he's just an asshole. Even before we knew what we know now. Even before he got Me Too'd, he was like kind of an asshole. But I just like, I had never encountered someone talking about animation the way that, I mean, at all. I was gonna say the way he was talking about it, but like, you have to understand, this was like before social media. This was like before everyone was on Twitter. This was before all of the creators of your favorite shows were on Twitter drawing their own little promotional posters for the shows because the fucking company they work for won't do it. Like, this is before you could just access anyone in the world. Like, it took work to like run a blog and like interact with people online back then. And there wasn't just a bunch of like, first of all, there are no famous animators, but like, if there were, they certainly weren't like online just like talking to people regularly, but he was. And so I read his blog a lot and I was like, dude, animation is awesome, holy shit. And that's actually kind of what started getting me thinking about maybe doing animation for real, like as a viable, feasible like thing. And then I started looking into schools. And I guess what I'll try and sort of like to try and rescue this, to try and save what I'm saying. I think, you know, sometimes it's possible for like a bad thing or a bad person to have been useful to you in a good way. Because, you know, another thing, we've talked about this before, I don't know if it's on like my Twitch streams or what, this was years ago, but another thing that I learned about from reading his blog was he every now and then he would post like, oh, here's some like artists that I found who are kind of like up and coming, who I think are really good at what they do. And I would always go follow those artists like on DeviantArt or whatever. And one of them was Rebecca Sugar, like before she like went to school for animation. And I like read her comic, Pug Davis, like way back in the day. I followed her on DeviantArt and stuff. And so like I had been like following her since like before like Steven Universe or Adventure Time or like anything that anyone knew her from. Not to like humble brag or whatever, but my point is like sometimes someone who is whatever, you can still extract the good things from a bad thing, if that makes sense. Like being inspired to do something, or finding an artist who ended up doing something, like, you know, whatever, as a net positive for humanity. Anyway, yeah, so actually it was reading John Kay's animation blog. And then I started looking into schools for animation, because I kind of thought, I also had the realization at some point, like, well, you know, if I want to be an illustrator, that's fine, and that's cool, and I could probably figure out how to make a comic. Like, I could teach myself how to make comics. I know it would be like hard, like, it's a whole art, like, don't get me wrong, like, even currently, like, even now, I'm like, dude, comics is a totally different art form. But like but I thought, like, you know what I mean? It's like, that's probably something that I could read a book and teach myself how to do. I don't think I could teach myself how to do animation. I kind of thought, if I want to animate, I need to go to school for it. And so I, incidentally, I was going to community college, and my community college had a guest speaker from Kansas City Art Institute, which is the school I ended up going to, which is just on the other side of the state. I lived in Missouri. I lived in St. Louis, and Kansas City is just on the other border of St. Louis is on one side of Missouri, and Kansas City is on the other. And I ended up going there because, like, it was relatively close. You know, it wasn't like I need to move to California or something. And also, like, it was easier to get into than, like, a big school like SVA or CalArts. Granted, I did not try. But I was just like, cool, it's close. The tuition was way cheaper than going to a bigger school. And they gave a pretty big scholarship. So that sealed that deal for me. What's interesting is now I think there's actually, like, way more... there's way more resources like out there now for, like, you could feasibly teach yourself animation without going to school for it. I had tried to animate before on my own, and I knew that I wasn't going to ever learn it if I didn't go put myself in a place where I was required to learn it as, like, an assignment. And I've talked to other people who feel that way about going to college for an art degree too. Is just like, I knew I was going to learn better if I placed myself in an environment where that was my job. And I remember trying to animate a little bit on my own beforehand and being like, there has to be an easier way to do this. I must be doing it wrong. And then I got to school and was like, no, that's just how it is. And, you know what I mean? Like, and that there's, it's kind of a labor of love sort of thing. It's a very labor intensive sort of thing. And, but that it's very rewarding too. Anyway, and then of course, like, being surrounded by other people who care really deeply about it is also, like, it makes you want to do better at it, and it makes you care about it, you know. Being around an animation professor who's just, like, the keeper of the knowledge, you know what I mean? Just like, oh, there's a whole history here. There's all of these artists who've been doing this art form for hundreds of years. Hundreds. I mean, 100 years. Let's just say, as long as film has been around. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe hundreds of years. I guess. Not hundreds. Whatever, you know what I mean. What are those? Zoetropes. Stuff like that. Like, early... As long as we've been trying to figure out how to make film, we've been doing animation. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't know. Just, like, going to a place where I could learn it and be surrounded by it was a big help for me. All right, let's catch up on the thing. Separating the art from the artist. What are you talking about? Jonathan uses mini disc. Stream is helping you lock in on animating. Thank you. Trying to make a cat is kind of hard though. Oh, you're doing like a bead animal? Like a bead, like those, like that we used to do in the 90s? Oh god, I loved those. I made so many of those. I had a friend that made me like a lizard or an alligator or something. A lizard was like the big one to do back then. And I was like, this is so cool. I don't know how she did it. And I like took it apart to figure out how she had done it. And then I put it back. Anyway, that was how I like taught myself how to make bead animals, because I got one from a friend and was just like, I need to know how. Someone said of John Kay that he created the term CalArts. He created the term CalArts style. CalArts is just the name of the school. But yeah, that term CalArts style did come from his blog. Although he meant something different when he said it. Like he meant like a 90s, he basically meant like Disney style. So it's kind of interesting the way it evolved over time. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Okay. Following people before they, humble brag. Oh, yeah, I'm sure I was mutuals with Vivzy Pop on DeviantArt. I don't know if I ever followed Gooseworks, though. I'm not sure. But it is interesting, right, to see, like, all these, you know what I mean? Like, oh, wait, I know that I followed that person back on DeviantArt, or, oh, I read their comic, or whatever. That's cool. That's why I can never idolize someone. Fair. I'm at KCA right now as a student. Cool. I hope you have a good time there. Don't meet your idols. I have no idea how I got here and who you actually are. What are you drawing? I'm doing animation of a cartoon that I'm working on. You can see it on my channel. But yeah, and my computer's really laggy, so currently I can't zoom out and show you. I will be able to in a second. Anyway, this is maybe I can just scrub through it. Let's see if it'll allow me. Will it allow me? Oh, it's super laggy. Yeah. But that's what I'm up to. I'm animating. Animating part 2 of a little series of short films I'm making about a demon and the high school student he's supposed to be haunting. Anyway, yeah, it's kind of laggy. It's not gonna work, but that's what I'm doing. Let's see. Also, okay, wait, going back to the animations existing for hundreds of years sort of thing, I actually do have this, I've had this thought before, and I encountered, God, someone did a video essay, I think I shared it on, like, Blue Sky or Twitter or something. Someone did a video essay about the history of independent animation, and I shared it because they mentioned Welcome to Hell. But, they started the video, like, the Lascaux cave paintings, and I was like, all right, hell yeah, let's do it. Like, I'm super into that idea, actually, that, like, I mean, like, people have been trying to capture movement even before, like, what we modernly think of as animation, right? I mean, you've got, like, what was that art style? Dynamism, I think it was called, where it's like, there's a painting, I can't think of the artist, but there's, like, a dog walking, and he's got a bunch of legs, and it's, like, the point is to kind of, like, mimic movement, right? And, like, there's some people believe that in certain, like, cave art, the way the animals are drawn in these different positions, or maybe they have, like, multiple legs or stuff, is kind of meant to, like, if you're walking through the cave, like, with, like, a torch or something, like, the way that it flickers is kind of supposed to, like, create the illusion of movement. And I love that idea so much. I want to put that in something. I think it's incredible. You know, and I mean, what's cool about, like, prehistory is, like, we don't know. But I'll do, like, I'm here for it. You know what? I'm here for it. Early Homo whatevers were animators. We were doing cave painting animations. I mean, obviously that's more than hundreds of years, but I guess my point is, like, film has existed for a little over 100 years. But anyway, but yeah, like, I'll do it. I'll go back. I'll say cave people were animators. That's fine. We invented a wheel. Why not a zoetrope? It's just one step away from a zoetrope. Okay, let's see. Something I've heard from animators as someone studying animation is that skills and portfolio matter more than your schooling. Do you agree with that? I mean, since CalArts is now going AI, I get it. I don't know what that means. I don't know about the CalArts AI thing. I have no idea if that's true or not. Oh, I didn't draw his little flaps. Okay. It is more about the skills and portfolio than, like, because here's the thing. Like, really, for any art degree, it's going to be about your skills and portfolio and timing and just being a decent person, right? Because, like, no one ever in the history of anything is going to be like, show me your BFA. Like, no one has ever been like, show me your fucking degree for your art school. Like, no one gives a shit. Like, oh, you went to art school? Congratulations. You might as well have a certificate in being a unicorn. Like, so yeah, no, it super doesn't matter. I mean, the benefit of going to CalArts or a bigger school like that is that it's a bigger school. It's more potentially connected in with the industry already, right? Like, CalArts is a Disney school. It's, like, kind of owned by, they've started by Disney, right? Like, and a lot of the professors and a lot of the people, like, there's a tie kind of to the industry already. So the benefit potentially that you get from going there is connections, is networking, is there's, like, a whole history there, and it's also already here in California. You know what I mean? I went to school in a cornfield, so, you know, and I'm here, I'm doing it. Like, you know, it's just like, the downside to that is I had to move out here. And I had to, like, my school wasn't super well connected or whatever. There's not a bustling animation industry in the Midwest. Not really. There's, like, a couple places. But, yeah, I don't know. So it definitely is dependent on your portfolio, your ability to work with people, be in the right place at the right time. So much of it comes down to, really, the only thing you can control is what your portfolio looks like. And then, like, you know, I mean, networking is important, but also this is just, okay, here's a bonus piece of advice, by the way. Networking is important, but I think a lot of people think of networking as like connecting with people higher up than them, like directors and producers and people higher up than you. I think a lot of people assume that's what is meant by networking. And I feel, and I've heard other people say this very strongly, that the correct way to think of networking is networking with people on your level, right? Because the people who are like higher up, producers and stuff like that, basically everyone looks out for their friends, right? So, you know, oh, you met a producer or something. They're not going to be like, that random kid that I met who's fresh out of school, I'm going to hire them for my thing. They're not going to do that. They're just going to like hire their friends and people that they already know, right? So you kind of have to make people like at or around your level, you know, give or take, like other artists or other, wherever you're at, you kind of have to like make bonds with those people. And also when I say networking, I don't mean even necessarily like in the business sense, like just be friends with people, like just make friends with people, like build meaningful relationships, and the people in your life who you mean something to will look out for you. You know what I mean? They'll be like the jobs are kind of scarce right now, but back in the day when they weren't, whenever I was at like a party with a bunch of other animators, the first like thing out of people's mouth besides like, hey, how's it going, is, are you at a studio right now? Like, what are you on right now? Are you on anything? Are you looking for a job? Like, well, now everyone's looking for a job. But back in the day, it was like, we were also just like sharing, like, oh, I heard this place is hiring, or, oh, like, you know, I heard this so-and-so, I just left this place and they're going to start up this show pretty soon. And, you know, they might be looking for people. Why don't you reach out? Like one of the best things, obviously you have to have the portfolio, but then one of the best things you can kind of have is just like having other people on your level who will vouch for you. That's how I got my first job, was literally like a friend of mine was like, I got a better offer from this other studio, peace, I'm going to leave. And then another friend I had that worked at that studio was like, hey, I have a friend, like, and she recommended me, cause they want someone like immediately. They're like, shit, we're going to lose this guy in like a couple days. We need someone to start yesterday. And what they're going to do, rather than like put out an ad on the internet, they're going to be like, do I know anyone? Do you know anyone? Is there someone who's someone be a good fit for this show? And then your friend who's on that show is going to be like, oh yeah, I know someone. And anyway, this is back in the day when there were shows and there were jobs. But my point is that is also useful. Just like, a lot of it is timing, which you can't control. But what you can control is having a good portfolio that shows what you're capable of doing, and just being a good person and like making friends with people at your level, like building genuine relationships with people and not like trying to like climb up the ladder or like get in good with someone like higher above you who like doesn't really give a shit about you. That is also helpful. But yeah, no one's ever asked me what school I've went to or where is your BFA, like ever in the history of, I don't think anyone's ever asked that in the history of anything. But yeah. Sorry, that was a whole tangent. Art schools don't matter as much as your qualifications. Yeah. And granted, like there's different schools or there's different qualities of schools. Like I do think I would have got a better animation education had I gone to a bigger school like Cal Arts or something, because they've had an animation program for longer than the school that I went to. They're more I think they'll, you know, there's some schools that'll teach you more of like the nitty gritty of it or whatever. I went to a school that was very like, you kind of had to be very self-directed. They taught a lot of history, and they taught kind of the basics, but it was also the animation program at the school that I went to at the time. It was relatively new. It had only been around for 7 years. When I first started going to the school, they had 6 Cintiqs. Like, there wasn't enough Cintiqs for everyone to fucking work on. You know what I mean? I mean, they made you start on pencil and paper too, which was actually, I think, a really genius method of teaching you. But like, you know, at the time there wasn't like there wasn't someone to teach you like what do you call it? Screen direction. So if you wanted to learn screen direction, you had to go take a class in like the film department, and there was like one teacher in the film department, one professor who was like I don't know, really cool to like the animation kids or whatever. Like, you know, and then also every school is going to kind of have its own like little ecosystem. Like the school that I went to was mostly a fine arts school. So a lot of painters, the fine arts, you know, animation, graphic design, illustration, those are considered like commercial arts, right? Those are considered applied arts. And if you go to a school that's very like, you know, there's kind of like a dichotomy of like, there's the higher classy arts and then like the lower sellout arts, and animation is one of the lower sellout kind of arts. Like they don't consider it real art. Not all schools are like that. I imagine CalArts is not like that. I don't know. But like other schools might have different things, right? Like let's say you go to film school or something and there's like, the film history people and then the filmmakers or something. You know what I mean? Like I feel like schools kind of have their own little ecosystems that might have like highbrow and lowbrow dichotomies or whatever. Anyway, so there's like a bunch of different factors, but at the end of the day, your degree doesn't matter. The work will speak for itself, you know. And honestly, you don't need a degree. Like if you're a good animator, you've taught yourself and your portfolio reflects that, and you understand what you're doing and you're like good with other people, like you can get a job. No one's gonna like, you know, anyway. Okay, let's see. Playing on college for so long. Cool. What is this? It's hard to separate the art from the artist when the artist still actively gets money. Oh, like J.K. Rowling? Yeah, I know. That is unfortunate. I mean, I guess I think you can take like a positive message from something while not still supporting the person that like created it. You know what I mean? Like if you read Harry Potter when you were younger and it like meant something to you or whatever, like I don't think that's invalid because J.K. Rowling's a piece of shit. Like you can still have it. There's also death of the author, right? Like you can still like not just from here on out not support her. I don't know. This is a really complicated. That's a tricky thing to do. But yeah, she's a real piece. I'm just trying to say that I think like, you know, if a piece of media resonated with you in some way, that is what it means to you is specific to you, and to some degree I think like people, I don't know, you can kind of like, what it means to you is what it means to you. And if it did something positive for you, then like that is good. And you can kind of like have that as your thing. It's your thing now. It's not hers. Fuck her. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. I guess this is sort of what I'm trying to get at, if that makes sense. I didn't read the Harry Potter books, actually. Like, not to be, like, a big fucking hipster about it, but I didn't read Harry Potter because I grew up in an area where Harry Potter was evil. Also, I just, like, wasn't interested in reading them. I don't know. I was, like, I didn't get it. I didn't get the appeal. I was too busy looking for wolf books. I was too busy reading fucking White Fang. I don't know. Maybe I should have read Harry Potter. But anyway, not to be I only just recently, like during COVID, watched all the movies because it was just like, this is a cultural spot that I'm kind of missing. And to be perfectly honest with you, I don't remember most of what happened in any of the movies. I don't remember most of the beats of it. Anyway, that was... It meant something to people, and that's not nothing, but, like, I get to be a little hipster about it and be like, I never really cared about Harry Potter. Let's see. Any tips for drawing hands, feet, you say? And proper proportions for stylization. Whoa, there's a lot of words in there. Let's see. Let me break that down. Any tips for drawing in proper proportions for stylization? Well, if it's stylized, then what are the proper proportions, right? Like, stylized can be like they have really big hands or really big feet. So, my tip, I guess it kind of depends on what you're doing. Like, if you're just doing a drawing, then, like, whatever. I think, to me, I feel like consistency is kind of not only important, but the more I got into animation, the more I was like, oh, I have to simplify my characters and be able to draw them consistently. Like, if you're just doing an illustration, I think it's okay to kind of, like, it depends on what the application for it is. You know, if it's just you drawing for fun, then you can kind of, like, indulge and do it however you want. But if it's like animation and it needs to be moving around and you want the characters' proportions to be consistent and to read and stuff like that, then I think it's important. And what I have been doing lately is, like, if I have to, like, maybe I can give an example in this. Okay, so, like, from the model sheet, I have sock. Oh my god. Oh, my computer's about to shit the bed. So, like, I have... Oh my god. I do this to myself. Well, so let's say you're drawing someone's hand turning around in space, right? And you've got one hand that's drawn really well. So I would take that hand and kind of have, like, a layer underneath to reference, like, okay, well, how tall is the hand? Like, how wide is it? What is the volume of it? Like, how thick is it this way? You know what I mean? Like, I would kind of, like, use your previous drawings, like, make it a layer underneath that's, like, slightly, lower the opacity or whatever, and just to kind of reference, like, the proportions and keep them consistent. What I was going to show you before my computer decided to quiet quit is okay, cool. All right. I'm gonna save it. What I was gonna show you is that I have a layer of sock from his model sheet where he's facing behind, just so I can see, like, what is the proportions of his head and of his hat, and, like, how did I decide it was going to look? I don't draw him from behind very often, so, like, you know, I have that as, like, it's the layer is hidden right now, but I'll activate it in a second and show you what it's doing. But that would be my tip for, like, maintaining consistent proportions within the animation that you're doing, but also if you don't want to maintain consistent proportions, like, fuck it, don't. Is that your fan dying in the PG? Probably. I don't know. Let me hear. I don't have the stream going right now. I'm not monitoring it. Wow, I'm really, really behind in my own stream. Let me hear it. I'm turning it up. Yeah, that is my fan. It doesn't sound that loud in real life. Oh wait, no. So a little bit it's my fan, but also a little bit it's, I think, the just the room tone that the blue snowball is picking up, because it is
a blue snowball,
and it's not very good. So I think that's part of it too, is like I would have like a condenser mic or something like that, but so part of it is just like my shitty microphone is picking up the existence of air, and part of it is, yes, my computer fan is like, please kill me. So, you know, it is both. I have my computer up now. It's on like one of those little things, so that it can breathe a little better. But it is like a 10-year-old computer, so. I gotta set up a better mic next time. Let's see. Hi, I remember your article was recommended just like you. Yes. Saw that video. It was so interesting. I don't remember what I was talking about, but I believe you. Yes, I've been in art history classes that discuss the moving cave paintings. Hell yes. All cavemation. Hell yeah. Sorry. It's a big tech bro. Oh, okay. Is CalArts going tech bro? Is that what we're talking about? It doesn't sound like it's quiet quitting. It sounds more like it's at the last stretch of a triathlon. What did y'all eat? Oh, sorry. Yeah, I wanted to. Whatever, you know what, whoever mentioned the food that they just made, that sounds amazing. I am getting hungry. Actually, pretty soon I'm going to have to go and start prepping for my dinner as well. I told my wife I would start chopping the vegetables and stuff before she got home. And that was going to be my hard out for streaming, because, you know, normally I'll stream and, like, it'll go for 3 hours. It's probably been going for 3 hours. 2 hours and 20 minutes. But yeah, I'm going to peace out in a little bit. And maybe that's a good sign, because, again, my computer is like... let's see. I am not on Windows 11, by the way. I am still on Windows 10. I refuse to update anything, to get a new anything, until the old thing absolutely doesn't work anymore, because I'm clinging desperately to the time before everything sucked. That's true across the board. I remember I made a tweet like that one time, like me using a 15-year-old Cintiq and driving a 25-year-old car, not understanding why none of my equipment works and why my car is always breaking. Anyway. Beef Wellington. Wow. Coffee and candy. That's a good meal. I'm making some kind of stir fry tonight, I think. The recipe that I was sent is titled something like, "This classic stir fry has a secret method to unlock its potential." I'm like, we're doing clickbait, like, cooking, like, recipe blogs now. My wife was like, it was not titled that when I found it. So, you know, it's like changing the YouTube thumbnail. People are finding that, I don't know, I guess you gotta make this one secret trick to unlock the full potential of your stir fry. The secret trick of a stir fry is that you can't fuck up a stir fry. I mean, maybe you can if you just like burn it. Anyway, here's the layer I was going to show you what stock is. Anyway. If you just throw a bunch of vegetables, maybe some meat, maybe some sauce into a pan, I don't know. That's a good time. I don't really know what... Maybe there is a secret to unlock its full potential. But unlock its full potential is such a crazy thing to say about food. Like, the food can do better. Like I'm just not giving it the chance. Like, it's, I don't know. It's just weird phrasing. It doesn't feel like food blog phrasing. Turkey chili, that sounds good. I used to make chili a lot. Thin mimped. Ooh, yeah, I've got some thin mimps right now too. I got the two new Girl Scout cookies too, the Adventurefuls and the, I don't know, hike-alongs. I don't know what they're called. What is it? Adventurefuls, and it's another outdoorsy sounding one. And I like them just fine. One of them is like a caramel situation, and one of them is like a brownie situation. I'm a chocolate hoe. I'm more of like into the chocolate decadent cookies. And to me, I like them just fine, but I kind of wish they were just tag-alongs. I wish I just got the tag-alongs instead, or the Samoas or something. Like, I don't dislike them, but I'm like, I kind of just wish this was a tag-along. You know what? I went out on a limb. I tried something new. They're not bad, but they're not tag-alongs. And you know what? The Thin Mint is simple and elegant. It's perfect. No notes on the Thin Mint. Vegetarian chili cheese fries. Whoa. Pork and rice. That sounds good. I'll tap into those seasonings. Dude, it's all about the seasonings. All about the seasonings. Okay. Do you guys have a favorite seasoning? Mine is either paprika or garlic. Or, well, no, garlic. I'd rather have like fresh garlic in it. Paprika or maybe cumin or red pepper flakes. Okay. Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to do something about this. I'm gonna have to get a fucking new computer. Or optimize it somehow. I don't know. I know not what to do. I'm sure I could optimize my setup somehow, but I just kind of feel like part of it is it's a 10-year-old computer and I've got a bunch of shit on it. Got a bunch of software on it. I'm running a hefty program. Granted, I'm not running a bunch of hefty programs. I used to be able to run like 3 or 4 really hefty programs at a time. And now I'm like, I'm going to limit it to 2 and I'm going to close all my other tabs on the internet. Like, you know, shit gets bogged down. It's like technically got like, I mean, the hardware, it's a little lower, like it's a little on the lower end for what most people have, but it's not like impossibly low. I think also, like, I was talking about this on the other stream, but someone pointed out to me recently that, like, programs, software and stuff now, like, because they just assume that everyone has, like, a bigger hard drive and you know, better processing power and everything, they're kind of, like, less precious with the space when they're programming or coding something. Because they're just like, whatever, like, that's fine. Like, everyone has, like, these mega gaming computers now that can just handle it. And it's like, well, a poor bitch like me, who does not have that, cannot do that. So I would quite appreciate it if... This is part of why I'm, like, not, like, dating a bunch of my stuff is because I'm like, I don't know. Whatever. Maybe it would run better. I don't want Windows 11 though. I'm not doing it. I don't want. Every time I like log into my email, they're like, "It's time for AI. Yum yum yum. Eat it up." And I'm like, "No, don't. Please don't turn this off. I don't want this." And I'm like, it's just everything. Anyway. Okay. Garlic and herb. You've been stirring your fry. Ever thought of having a kid, adopted or otherwise, to have as free labor for your animations? My parents had me to be their free labor. Oh, man. That is the point of having kids, isn't it? No, I'm just kidding. I feel like I was a lot of free labor for my parents as well. I was explaining this I've explained this various times to people that like I had like my mom was so particular about cleaning when I was a kid. The like level of chores that I had to like, oh, you had to take the trash out. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, you had to put the dishes away. The level of like chores that I had to do when I was a kid and like the standard that my mom held me to was like that of a professional cleaner. She was like, if the chrome don't shine, it ain't clean. You know what I mean? Like I knew as a child, it's like as soon as Saturday morning cartoons are over, like you're cleaning the whole bathroom, you're vacuuming the whole place, you're dusting the whole, you know, like thorough cleaning. And it's like, and I knew all the tricks. Like I know what kind of towels will leave fuzzy residue on a mirror. I know, you can't use a cotton towel. It has to be a fucking microfiber towel, or at the time, like newspaper. You can also use newspaper. Like I know a lot of, like I have cleaning trauma, like, and I don't clean as often as I should. But when I clean the fuck out of something. And anyway, man, it's a blessing and a curse because like I can never be comfortable. I'm always like, this is a mess. This is disgusting. Like, you know what I mean? I have, and also no one knows how to clean the right way either. Like, but anyway, that's the child labor I did. I tell this story a lot. This is good. My mom one time was like, I was vacuuming and she was like, you missed a spot. And she pointed. And I was like, where? What? Like what? And she was like, there's a footprint here. And I was like, what do you mean a footprint? Like someone tracked mud? Because if we're talking about someone tracked mud or a leaf or something into the house, like you can't vacuum that up. We're going to have to clean. Like, I didn't know what she was talking about. She was like, there's a footprint. And I was like, what do you mean a footprint? And she's like, right there. Do you see it's a footprint? And I was like, I like got down and I looked at it and I was like, are you talking about the little fibers of the carpet? The pile, as it's called? The pile, when you step on carpet, it like presses the little carpet pieces down. It presses and it kind of leaves an imprint of where your foot was. I was like, are you talking about the imprint of my foot where I just stepped? You want me to vacuum it so that the pile, so that all of the little strings of the carpet are upright? And she was like, yeah. And I was like, and once I've done that, am I just supposed to hover across the carpet? Like, what are you like? She was just like, just do it. And I'm like, it's like, what are you talking about? Like, it's like a footprint. I thought I like tracked mud or something. And she was just like, no, you stepped there. And I'm like, well, what am I fucking supposed to do? What do I do then once you vacuum yourself into a corner and then you're like, oh no, fuck, how am I gonna walk? Like, it's just like, anyway, whatever. I did a lot of free labor as a kid, but Anyway. I have a friend who, like, worked in her parents' restaurant when she was, like, a kid. And she, like, mixed drinks and food and stuff. So she, like, did, like, real, genuine, like, labor. I guess I can't really complain. But then again, yes, I can. Okay, let's see. Sorry, that was kind of a dark tangent. Four Italian sausages. My favorite food is Japanese curry. Yummy. Recently shown up and down by a friend, and I'm enamored with it. I love Sock's design. It's so cute. Thank you. Hi, how are you doing today? I'm doing good. Thank you. Real, because I've got to do that right now. I'm going to go clean my bathroom. Hell yeah, clean that bathroom. I'm very proud of my bathroom. I have I have one of those shower cleaners that you spray that's like a preventative thing, and it makes the water not... California has really bad, like, hard water. There's, like, a lot of crust in the water. And, anyway, I have one of those things that makes the water repel off of the shower door. And so my shower doors almost always look fucking awesome. And actually, when my parents were out here for my wedding, my mom was like, how do you keep your shower so clean? And I was just like, like, now I am the one with the cleaning prowess. I've never felt like more of an adult to have my mom be like, oh my God, what's your secret? The secret is that shower spray that repels water. Anyway. It's Method, I think is the brand. Anyway, it's like it's a little pricey, but I mean, it's like $5-6 for a bottle of that stuff, and it lasts like, I don't know, a few months. Like, that's $5 or $6 of not having to clean your fucking shower doors for several months. I think it's worth it. Let's see. How's the progress so far? Just tuning in. Oh, not great, because the computer's super laggy. But I'm gonna quit the stream soon, and then I'm gonna... I work much quicker when I'm not streaming, actually. Because the computer's laggy and I'm multitasking, so... but the progress is coming along. I don't know if you can see... Do I have the screen cropped? I'm gonna have the screen cropped. You can see my other... Hold on. Window capture. Whoa! You can see all these little sequences that I have down here. This is like a whole scene. And it's mostly cleaned. I haven't been marking it as I should. Usually if they're in color, that means they're cleaned. But actually most of these are cleaned. There's just like this shot that I'm on right now, and I think this one Sock needs to be cleaned, and I think Sock also needs to be cleaned in that one, but the rest of it is pretty much cleaned. Then I just need to color it, and this is the one sequence in part 2 that is going to be like cleaned and colored, and then the rest of it is going to be varying degrees of like rough animation, kind of like the first one. So this is taking kind of a while because I'm indulging myself a little bit. I'm letting myself do one sequence that's like fully cleaned and colored and whatnot, just because I want to have that. But yeah, that is that. I'm gonna move this back down. Alright. Yeah. What does the stream save? I like rewatching your streams because I always come into the stream late. Yeah, YouTube just automatically saves them. There's like, when you're looking at my profile, there's like a little, just videos, shorts, posts or whatever, and then there's one that says live, and it should just stream the VODs. Is it VOD or VOD? Like, what do people say? but yeah, that's it. It should be there. So yeah, I'd like to maybe I'd like to try and do this once a week. Just to kind of like have something ongoing that I can post with people publicly. Because I've been kind of bad at that. But yeah, so I'll probably do it again next week. And yeah, you can just pop it on. It's a good 2 or 3 hours worth of chilling and talking about art shit. Helped your mom with your legal filings as a kid. Wow. How many frames per second do you animate on? What are your thoughts on the modern indie animation landscape? Do you see that recent animation by the guy who made... Oh! Jorge Gutierrez? Okay. Two questions here. One, how many frames per second do I animate on? Generally, 2. Generally, I animate on 2s, but sometimes for a scene that's more involved, I'll kind of animate on mixed frame rate, like 3s and 4s. For smaller, like, kind of character animation things, like expression stuff, I tend to animate on 2s. But if there's like a big movement that involves a full body, or someone like walking towards or away from the camera in Z space, I'll go to more of like an anime frame rate, because I want to do less drawings. So I animate on a mixed frame rate, but generally 2s. And I also I don't know that I'm very good at animating on like a low frame rate. 3s and 4s and 5s and 6. I'm trying to get better at it, because there's a lot of... Because when I watch stuff that looks like that, I'm like, oh wow, this looks great. Like, why don't I do this? Why am I making it so hard on myself? So, I'm trying to get better at like that kind of anime frame rate. But for like close up, little minute kind of character acting things, I'll still do it on 2s. Yeah, I still have a lot to learn. The idea with a lower frame rate is that you can do fewer drawings. You have to have really strong poses, though. Like, your poses have to be good, because there's not a lot of in-betweens. Like, they have to kind of, like, flow into the next one. Your brain, your eyes, what do you call it? Oh my god, what's it called? When your brain fills in the gaps of something, because it's like your eyes are like still processing. Persistence of vision. It's called persistence of vision. You kind of use persistence of vision to your advantage and just have like fewer frames but stronger poses. I'm trying to get better at that. Okay, people say vowed. That's good. All right, I'm saying vowed. My thoughts on modern indie animation landscape. Do you see that right? Okay, yes. My thoughts on the modern indie landscape are complicated. I think it's really cool that everyone's doing indie shit right now. I'm super excited for it. Glad everyone finally got on my level. No, I'm just kidding. But like, I don't know what the end goal is, and I don't know how like sustainable it is. Like, I think it's really cool that it's happening, but it's also kind of uncharted territory, and I also kind of don't know, like, and I think it depends on what is the goal of the individual project, what is the goal of the creator, how much, what is the thing they're making. Like, I think, I've seen some, like, indie projects that didn't get funded all the way, because frankly I don't think they were really playing to a niche. It was like, oh, this is just kind of like some show that a guy wants to make. But like, if you key in on a really hyper specific demographic, like okay, like The Lovers, you know, that one with like this, it hasn't been released yet, but it's their Kickstarter got funded like immediately, like within minutes. And it's like a, you know, anime style horror about like a lesbian horror thing about like a mermaid and a sushi chef. And anyway, and that's such a hyper specific niche that like no one's making something that is that. So I think that kind of plays into whether or not a thing can get funded. You know what I mean? Like if you kind of like make something for a demographic that doesn't have a lot of stuff, like people are thirsty for it. You know what I mean? Like that's why like doing like furry commissions is always so like lucrative, is because like furries will pay money for their shit. You know what I mean? Like they want their shit. So I think like that's a big part of it. I think there's kind of all these different factors, but at the end of the day, I don't know how. I know a lot of animation fans are teens and 20-somethings and college students, and they don't have a lot of disposable income, and it's cool. A lot of them are doing merch, you know what I mean, to kind of fund what they're doing, and I think that makes a lot of sense. But you kind of have to have a whole like merch division. Then you kind of have to have someone in charge of doing. You kind of have to spend a little money to make a little money, and you kind of have to, like, depending on how big the project is, you have to hire different people to be in charge of different things. And if you have the money to do that, that's great. But also, I think to a degree, like, it's not sustainable to be like, I have this thing I want to make, and if you want to help me make it, you give me $20, and if just like, we can't all keep Venmoing each other the same $20. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't think crowdsourcing for a series is a good idea. I think you can crowdsource something that's maybe a short film, that's like a one-off thing, or like a book or a comic or something like that. But for an ongoing series, I don't think, I mean, you have to do merch or something like that, so people are actually like getting something in return for the money they put up. I think it depends on what kind of niche it is. I think it depends on, I don't know, just kind of all kinds of things, you know, like, it's complicated. It's very complicated. And it's also like uncharted, like, territory or whatever. I'd have to look through, there's several people who have like tweeted threads about this, like on Twitter and Blue Sky, who I feel like are very, like, I usually like them when I see them, just like, if anyone's ever curious about my opinions on indie animation, this is it. They can just scroll through my likes. Because a lot of people are more articulate than me on some of these things. But yeah, it's exciting. It's really exciting, and I'm glad we're doing it. And I think it's like really telling that when the industry is kind of has cold feet about taking chances or whatever, that people are still like, fuck that, I'm gonna take my chance and make art. I think that's really cool and punk rock and badass. But like, you know, is your end goal just to put a cool piece of art out into the world, or is your end goal to like get a TV show greenlit? Is your thing, are you just making a thing because you can't find a job? That's another thing too. There's like, I don't want to name names, but there was someone who had like an indie series they wanted to fund, and it was just like, you've been gainfully employed by the industry for like decades, like, and there's nothing, but it's just kind of like, why are you crowdfunding your thing? Like, the idea is, you know, well, usually it's studios and investors will put up money to make animation or whatever, and it's like, you could fund this if you wanted to. I mean, I don't know how you spend your money. It's like that tweet or whatever that's like, help me figure out my finances, I'm spending this, and it's like weirdly a lot of money on candles. You know what I mean? I don't know how people are like spending, how people are budgeting their finances, but sometimes I've seen people and I'm like, you don't need to be like e-begging for money to get this thing funded. You can just like put up the money and fund it, probably. Like, I don't know. I just, are you already really well connected and you're just, no one's greenlighting my shows anymore. Oh, I pitched to a bunch of people and no one's greenlighting my stuff anymore. Or are you like someone who's like, I this is my in, like, you know what I mean? Like, are you established, or are you like trying to break in? Like, there's all these kind of different, I don't know, I'm just kind of rambling here, but it's just like, I think it's very useful for people who want to break in, or who want to do something, who are having a hard time, like, kind of like getting it made through the system. But I think there's some people who it just looks like it's not really working for because of various things. Anyway, that's kind of my rant about that. I don't know. It's still in its nascent stages, so it's hard to like parse through is what I mean. But, okay, the guy that made El Tigre, his name is Jorge Gutierrez, and I did see his new animation. I gotta say, oh god, what was it called? It was like something vampire or something. Like, I think it's my favorite thing he's ever done. I didn't watch El Tigre because I didn't have cable at the time that it was on, but he came to speak at my school. He did like a presentation, and he was one of the best guest speakers that like my school ever had. And I have a little poster that he designed. Actually, I'm gonna show it. I'm just gonna show it. He made a poster for like his like presentation that he gave at our school. I don't know if this is going to show up on camera or not, but he like designed it, and it was like anyone could come, like you didn't have to be in the animation department, but of course, like, you know, all the like painting students didn't come because, you know, they're better than animation. But anyway, he was super cool and like down to earth and like very he gave us like he didn't just like give a talk as like a speaker, but he was like, do you guys want like a shape language lesson? Like, do you want me to give you like a design lesson? And everyone was like, yeah, sure, you'll do that. Like, he like flew in, and he like was just coming off of, I think, pitching Book of Life or something like that. And he was just so like eager to like help out some kids that were passionate about animation. He was awesome. But anyway, I like his work just fine. But so far his like the most recent thing that he came out with, I'm like, yo, I think it's maybe because I've not seen him do like an adult thing yet, and the newest thing he did is like decidedly adult. And I'm like, have I just been like wanting an adult thing from this guy the whole time? Like, it's really, really good. I liked it quite a bit. I'm super excited for that. Not that his other stuff isn't good, but I'm just like, oh, I think the shackles of having to do a kind of a kids thing or a family thing have been removed, and I think he's like really good at adult stuff. So yeah, I'm very excited about that one. Sorry, I can't remember the name of it. Jorge Gutierrez is something vampire or something. Let's see. Very excited for that one. Let's see. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people are turning to crowdfunding because they, you know, again, not having the capital to make what you want, and like you said, and worrying that the studio will bastardize it. That's kind of like, yeah, I mean, all studios are bastards, right? No, like that's one of the nice things about doing your own thing, is that no one's gonna bastardize it, right? Like actually, someone earlier in the chat asked me what I thought of the Owl House, and I didn't answer it. I didn't really have time, but the Owl House is a good example of something that really suffered from like not just bastardization, but like, here's like a shift in power, you know what I mean? Like, oh, there's all these mergers happening, and oh, now this guy's in charge of this department, whatever. I don't know exactly like all the details of it, but it's like they, at any moment, the guy in charge of the animation department for whatever studio can just be ousted, or it's merged with, and now this guy's in charge, and he doesn't like your show anymore. And he doesn't care if you didn't get to finish the story arc that you like were very like meticulously crafting this whole time. Oh, you begged for 6 more episodes to finish it up? Fine, I guess we'll give you 6 episodes or whatever, right? And like, I don't know all the ins and outs and the drama of what was happening behind the scenes with the Owl House, but I will say those last like 6 or however many episodes there were of the show is some of the tightest storytelling in that entire show, and maybe in like all of TV. I was just like, wow, holy fuck! Like, we told a whole season's worth of story in like a montage in the cold open. Like, fuck, dude! Like, they were determined. Anyway, but like, yeah, that's one of the nice things about indie stuff, is that no one's gonna give you notes to like water it down or whatever. I mean, I think in some ways, I think people work best when they have something to kind of push back against a little bit. I think it makes your work tighter and stronger. But a lot of times it's just they're kind of bastardizing or watering down the thing that you want to make. And I mean, I think some artists need to be held back a little bit. Some artists shouldn't even reach their final form. But like when you know, I'm just saying, like, that's one of the nice things about making your own stuff is you get to be, it's like pure, unbridled, the thing that you want to make in all of its glory, for better or worse. And yeah, and that is really cool. That's one of the nice things about indie animation. I'm just saying, I don't know how feasible it is to keep doing that, at least at like scale, at a consistent scale, and at a regular like pace. You know what I mean? But you know, if people are cool with like waiting for the work, as all of my followers have had to be, yeah, I think it's very good for that. I'm glad it's happening. The long story short of it is I'm glad it's happening, and I don't really know to what end though. Like, I think that depends from person to person and from series to series, but ultimately I think it's great that people are making their own shit. I think that's badass. I've been a big proponent of making your own shit. So I'm glad that that other people are doing it now. I think that's awesome. But yeah, I don't know. It's different from project to project, I guess. And it's complicated. We're still kind of figuring out what that's going to look like. But yeah. Anyway, I actually need to get going pretty soon. I need to prepare this. I need to unlock the full potential of this stir fry. There's one secret trick to unlock the full potential of the stir fry, and I don't know what it is. So I gotta find that out before my wife gets home. I gotta start on dinner. So I'm actually going to hop off. Maybe we can talk some more about indie animation next time. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Oh yeah, wow, we're almost at 3 hours. Wow, cool. Yeah, you can watch this. The VOD will be up. When I'm done. And oh god, what is happening? Oh no, what's happening to my desktop? I didn't mean that. Cool. I gotta stop this before my computer like totally craps out. But yeah, I will see you guys next time. And thank you for tuning in. And I'd like to do this some more. Hopefully I can work out a system that's not, you know, just totally like overworking all of my stuff. But thank you. Good luck with the unlocking the potential of the stir fry. I appreciate that. So yeah, alrighty. Thanks. I will see you guys later. And hopefully, you know, I'll be posting stuff on Patreon hopefully soonish, and you guys can follow me there or wherever. I'm kind of on all the social medias, but I don't post a lot. I'm gonna try and do more streams here, and I guess I'll see you guys then. Thanks for tuning in.